Let's move down to the Baton Rouge. LSU win total 8.5. Lane Kiffin, you might have heard of him, takes over with all the expectations in the world. Added the number 1 portal class. Quarterback Sam Leavitt from Arizona State. Offensive tackle Jordan Seaton from Colorado. Blake Baker stays as defensive coordinator. Kadam Durham, running back, went in the portal, decided to stay. Defensive end Prince Will. I forgot how to say his last name. David, help me out.
Uman Mielen.
Exactly. He's there. 5-star freshman and Lamar Brown. September schedule is interesting. You got Clemson at Ole Miss, Texas A&M in the first handful of weeks, then kind of a gap of winnable games, and then Auburn, Bama, Texas at Tennessee to close it. What do you think of the Tigers and this new look team?
Biggest wild card that I think we have in the SEC.
Maybe the country.
11, yeah, I think that's probably true. Just because there's so many pieces that we don't know. I have their best case, 11-1. I think they're capable of winning the national championship. I think the talent's there.
I could think see so too.
I think they're there, but there's a really interesting worst case there too. I have them down at 6-6 as a possible worst case because of the same reasons. We're playing fantasy football here a little bit. You added a bunch of pieces. You know, are you going to hit some bumps in the road? Can you do that? Plus, the schedule is not super easy. You're going to have some pretty tough tests. That first month of the season, I think, is going to tell you a lot about your gumption and what this team is going to be. If you come out of there 4-0, buddy, this team is smooth sailing. You come out of there 2-2,
2-2.
Dare I say 1-3, buddy. That next month is going to be the longest month of your life because nobody's going to care if you beat McNeese State or beat Kentucky or Mississippi State or even Auburn. You're basically going to be coasting through October where all anybody's going to talk about is September. It doesn't matter what you do in those games until you play Alabama. So really interesting schedule, really interesting team. LSU, I do think, is probably the most fascinating team in America this year. If they had Damon Williams, I think this could have been true black hat, like everyone in America wants you to fail. I think people are annoyed with Lane, but I think that, like, if you haven't been personally victimized by Lane Kiffin, I'm looking at you, like USC, Tennessee, Ole Miss fans. I think people are more like entertained by him as sort of the jester of the sport more than like, oh, I hate Lane Kiffin. I think people were rubbed the wrong way by the way a lot of the playoff stuff went down. But also, like, even if it didn't make sense, like, can you blame Lane Kiffin for like wanting to have his cake and eat it too, right? Like, well, I want to take the big job, but I also want to ride it out in the playoff. I think Ole Miss did the right thing of holding the line and not letting that happen. But like, if you're Lane Kiffin, like, you have to try, right? And maybe you hold a program hostage along the way.
Yeah, and there's the potential buyouts with Prince Will and a couple of the other guys that Ole Miss is trying to hold them to.
I mean, I don't know. That's just the business of like. Yeah. I have a hard time like getting too bent out of shape about that stuff, especially considering that like Ole Miss is the ones coming after them for a buyout when like Ole Miss has certainly done their own fair share of roster shenanigans. Yeah.
But yeah, my question with this team is, can you get the fast start? Can you get the 4-0? Can you go to Ole Miss and get the win and fully put that behind you and it's full steam ahead? Because if you're 2-2, that's going to be tough. Like you'll win the next 3 or 4 or whatever, but that's all the pressure is going to come on there because you fired a guy who is typically going winning 9-10 games for you, not making the playoff, but made an SEC championship game. Like Lane Kiffin has to win a national championship here at some point. That is the goal. The 3 previous coaches before Brian Kelly had done that, and LSU has opened up the checkbook in a way they never have before to get Lane Kiffin pretty much everything he wanted. So,
and those 3 coaches, it should be noted, include Ed Orgeron, include Les Miles, who, like, the average college football fan on the street is probably not confusing those guys for Nick Saban. Like, that's just the reality.
So I think best case 11-1 national championship, or at least make the title game or something like that. But my player I'm interested in, Caden Durham, the running back, saw him in spurts last year, looked really, really good at times. And he went in the portal, but then decided to come back. And so for him to come back, stay at LSU with the other weapons they have around them, I think he could be a real key to how this season plays out. Again, SEC, you're going to have to run the ball. So 8.5, I'll take the over. Like, I think that I would feel safe thinking 9-10 wins for LSU with that schedule. They do have Texas, but it's at home. They don't have Georgia. So, at Ole Miss is maybe the next toughest one, but we'll see. But David, I can hear your children again. They're in the background, but over.
We have a break in. We have a break in the office, but we're good. No, I think, like I said, this could be bad. It could go bad, but ultimately, I think that this is, we talk about a results business, but more than that, it's a talent acquisition business. And LSU has acquired a buttload of talent. And I think that raises your margin of error, and it raises your ceiling. It raises your floor. This is probably, I don't think they're more talented than Texas. I don't think they're more talented than Ohio State. But is there anyone else that's decidedly more talented than LSU? Maybe I'll hear Oregon, maybe, but not really. Yeah. Notre Dame, I don't know that they're certainly not as experienced. LSU's probably the third most talented team, but it's a lot of new pieces, and we'll see how that goes. These are not guys who have been fighting together alongside, shoulder to shoulder for 3 years. It's people that met each other 8 months ago.
So SEC championship game picks. Do we have the teams that you think are picking to make it?
LSU and Texas.
I'm going Georgia and Texas, and I'm going to have Georgia beats Texas again. Who do you have winning?
I'm in on LSU. I'm buying LSU. I think there is a real potential for it to go bad, but I believe in Lane Kiffin and quarterbacks. Has he had a quarterback? I think is this the most talented quarterback that Lane Kiffin has had? I'm trying to think of his history.
I mean, he had Matt Barkley.
It's got to be up there, though, right? Trinidad, I don't know that he's going to blow you away with his measurables. Matt Corral, I really liked him, but he hasn't really done anything.
I do want to see a little bit more out of Levitt, though, because he didn't play a lot last year and he was banged up. And so, are we putting too much stock into 2 years ago? He hasn't had that many game reps. This is a different level of play.
The flip side of that is you don't need him to be Superman. You need him to be good. I think this defense is going to be nasty. He's got a good offensive line in front of him. He's got a very expensive left tackle in Jordan Seaton, who I think is the truth. You've got what should be a pretty good running game, and you have a quarterback or you have a coach who, what's the worst quarterback that Lane Kiffin has had? He's had pretty good situations. So